Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking through some player props I like on Prizepicks for the quarterfinals of the college football playoffs. We have 4 college football playoff games, 1 on New Year's Eve, and then we have 3 games on New Year's Day. I'm recording this video on New Year's Eve around 5 o'clock Eastern time, like in the afternoon. So this Boise State-Penn State game starts in like 3 hours. So I'm not going to give out any props in that game just because, the game starts soon. And by the time you're all watching this video, there's a good chance the game has already started. You wouldn't be able to get props in anyway. So we're just going to focus on the 3 games on New Year's Day: Texas, Arizona State, Oregon, Ohio State, and then Notre Dame, Georgia. I got 3 props I'm going to give out in this video. Have a play I like in the Texas Arizona State game, and then I have 2 props that I like in the Georgia Notre Dame game. So before we talk through these plays, guys, as always, if you guys do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, if they help you out, make sure to hit that like button down below, hit that subscribe button as well. And if you guys are new to the channel, and if you are new to Prizepicks, be sure to sign up for Prizepicks. Use promo code NOAH when you sign up, and when you place your first lineup, you'll get $50 in promo funds instantly added to your account. So make sure to check out Prizepicks if you have not yet. And also, I do want to shout out Sleeper because we do have a partnership with Sleeper as well. You guys can sign up for Sleeper. Use promo code NOAH over there, and when you play your first lineup, you'll get $55 worth of free lineups. So this is a new promotion Sleeper is running for new users. Play $5, get $55. Very simple, easy promotion. It caters more towards people with lower bankrolls, people that don't want to put in a lot of money, because you can deposit the minimum, which on Sleeper is $25, and still get $55 worth of free lineups. Normally on Sleeper, they used to match your first deposit up to $100. So like if you put in, basically it would incentivize you to put in more money. Well, now with this promo, caters more towards the people who don't have a lot of money to put into this. If you only want to play like $25, you put in $25, play a $5 lineup, you'll get $55 worth of free lineups that you can then use, play, and hopefully win some money off of, build a bankroll off of. So definitely check out Sleeper if you guys have not yet, and make sure that when you sign up, use promo code NOAH, so that way you do get access to this promo. But yeah, guys, let's go ahead and talk about the 3 props that I like for this college football playoff slate for round 2, quarterfinals of the college football playoffs. Not sure yet if I'm going to be doing a college football video for next week. I probably will. I'll probably make college football videos up until the end of the season, so I'll probably do one for the semifinals, and then I'll probably do one for the championship game as well. The college football content has been a lot of fun making this year. It's my first year making college football videos, so I'm kind of new to this, but I've had a lot of fun making these videos. I enjoy watching the college football games, and it's fun kind of sweating out props with you guys, and hopefully we can make some money on this quarterfinal slate. So from the Texas Arizona State game, there's a prop that I like in this one. It's going to be a longest rush prop, and we're going to take Cam Skattebo for less than 21.5 longest rush. I know taking unders on Cam Skattebo, it doesn't seem very fun, because obviously Cam Skattebo, if you've watched college football this year, he's been one of the best running backs in the country. He's right up there with Ashton Jeanty as a guy that just consistently puts up big game after big game. But this is a really, really tough test for Arizona State. They're going to be facing a Texas defense that has been very, very good against the run this season. Texas has been one of the best teams at stopping the run in terms of giving up rush yards. They've also been one of the best teams at not giving up a lot of big runs. Texas is only allowing 3.1 yards per carry this season, which is top 10 in the country. And if you look at Texas' schedule so far, and if you look at the running backs they faced, only 2 running backs all season have had a 22-yard run or more versus Texas. Robert Henry, UTSA running back, he had 6 carries for 65 yards versus Texas. One of those carries did go for 53 yards. And then in the SEC championship, Texas did give up a 48-yard run to Trevor Etienne. He had 16 carries for 94 yards. But every other running back that Texas has faced this season has not been able to break off a 22-yard run or more. If you look at Cam Skattebo's game log this year, he's had a lot of games where he's broken off long runs, but he's also kind of done these, kind of in some softer matchups. Now, he has faced some decent defenses and still been able to break off long runs, but I would say this is by far Arizona State's toughest test this season, facing an elite Texas defense that's been great at stopping the run this year. And this is also a spot where Arizona State, they're big underdogs in this game. They're like 2-touchdown underdogs. They're probably going to have to abandon the run in this game. They're probably going to be forced to throw if they get behind, which seems likely. And I don't know if we're going to get, a huge carry game for Cam Skattebo. I don't know if he's going to go out there and get 25, 30 carries, because the game script might force him, force this Arizona State team to kind of lean on their pass game a little bit more. So there's a lot of ways that we can cash this under on Cam Skattebo. Look, Skattebo could run for 100 yards and not break off a 22-yard run. Just if Texas is kind of keeping him to like 4 to 5 yards per carry, not giving up those big plays, and they've done a really good job at doing that this season. I know it's scary taking unders on Cam Skattebo because he's been so good this year, but I think this is a really tough spot for Arizona State, for Skattebo, and I like him for less than 21.5 longest rush. Now, the next prop that I like is going to be a fantasy score, and if you're new to Prizepicks, fantasy score is really simple, self-explanatory. You can click scoring chart right here. You can see how fantasy score is calculated. If you take fantasy score for NFL, it's the exact same scoring system for college football. You can see how points are calculated here. So going to the Notre Dame and Georgia game, the fantasy score prop that I like in this game is Riley Leonard for more than 17.5 fantasy score. Now, we're getting a little bit of a lower line than what we're used to seeing on Riley Leonard just because of the matchup. I mean, it's obviously not a great matchup. Georgia, one of the best defenses in the country. But Riley Leonard has been really good from a fantasy perspective this year. He's looked great as Notre Dame's quarterback. He's averaging over 24 fantasy points per game. He's gone over this fantasy point line, and I think all but like 2 or 3 games this year. Like his first 2 games of the season against Texas A&M and against and I think against Illinois, he really struggled. But really ever since then, Riley Leonard has played extremely well. He's been consistently, having games where he throws for multiple touchdowns. They also will use him a lot kind of in the red zone near the goal line as a runner. He does offer some rushing upside. Okay, so his second game of the season was against Northern. That was against Northern Illinois. That was the game that Notre Dame got upset in. So I'm sorry, I said Illinois. It was Northern Illinois. So yeah, he's only gone under this line 3 times this season. First game of the season against Texas A&M. Then he went under against Northern Illinois, the game that Notre Dame got upset at home. And then he did go under this game against Army. Obviously, Army, good defense. They've historically been a really good defense. But he's still gone over this line, even in some tougher matchups against some good defenses as well. Look, with how Notre Dame uses Riley Leonard both as a passer and a runner, he just has so much upside for fantasy score because, not only can he get there with his arm, but he can also get there with his legs. And if you just look at his props for this game, so he's got 173.5 pass yards props, so he's projected for about 7 fantasy points from pass yards. He's got a 34.5 rush yards prop, so he's projected for about 3 to 4 fantasy points from rush yards. So he's projected for about 10 to 11 fantasy points just from yards alone. And then you have to factor in touchdowns. He has a 1.5 touchdowns or passing touchdowns prop, which is a demon. So let's say he throws a touchdown. That would give him 4 more fantasy points. That would put him at 15. Maybe he runs in a touchdown. I mean, Riley Leonard does have 15 rushing touchdowns this year. His rushing touchdown prop on Prizepicks is a demon, so that basically means that his odds of scoring a rushing touchdown are not as likely, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he won't score a rushing touchdown here. I like with how Notre Dame is using Riley Leonard, I like this fantasy score line a lot on him at 17.5, even in the tough matchup here against Georgia. They just use him so much, around the goal line as a runner. It almost kind of reminds me of like Jalen Hurts. Like when they get down to the 1 to the 2, they'll use Riley Leonard in QB sneaks, quarterback powers, stuff like that. So he has a ton of touchdown equity, not only with his legs, but also if he does throw for touchdowns. This season he's thrown for 17 touchdowns. He's run for 15 touchdowns. Got a ton of touchdown equity. This could be a spot as well where maybe Notre Dame is forced to lean on their pass game a little bit more. Notre Dame has had a lot of success running the ball this year. Jeremiah Love has had some big games lately, but this could definitely be a tougher spot for Notre Dame to be able to kind of establish the run versus this Georgia defense. Wouldn't be surprised if you see more pass attempts than what we're used to for Riley Leonard. His pass attempts line on Prizepicks is set at 29.5, even though he's gone under that line in 3 of his last 5 games. So give me Riley Leonard for more than 17.5 fantasy score as our second prop. And then the last prop that I like is going to be on Gunnar Stockton. And we're going to take Gunnar Stockton for more than 12.5 rush yards. So Gunnar Stockton's going to be getting the start at quarterback this week for Georgia. Carson Beck ruled out for this game. Carson Beck got injured in the SEC championship last week against Texas. We did see Stockton play the second half of that game, and he had 8 carries for 8 yards. He went under this line, but he was used a lot as a runner. And if we look at last season, Gunnar Stockton did play in their bowl game versus Florida State. That was the game that Georgia destroyed Florida State, much to my demise because I'm a big Florida State fan. But yeah, Gunnar Stockton last year against Florida State in the bowl game that he played in had 7 carries for 46 yards. When he has played, we haven't seen him play much because last year he only played in like 2 or 3 games, mostly just in blowouts. And then this season he's really only played in like 2 games, mostly in blowouts. But last week we did see him play the second half against Texas, had 8 carries for 8 yards. Look, he's a mobile quarterback. He's a guy that can run. We saw that in the Florida State bowl game that he played in last year. The game against Texas, he did take some sacks, which I do believe kind of took some yards down for Stockton. But when he's played, he has shown mobility, and 12.5 rush yards is not much for Stockton to get here. I think my one concern is that Stockton gets sacked, which obviously, if you're new to college football, when you take quarterback rush yards, if quarterbacks do get sacked, that counts as negative rush yards. So that is my one concern, and that's really always a concern when you take a quarterback rush yards prop in college football is you have to worry about sacks. But I was looking around like at sportsbooks and some other DFS apps. All the sportsbooks I look at, like FanDuel, and the DFS apps like Underdog, they have their line on Stockton set at 20.5. So Prizepicks seems to be way lower than the market is on Stockton's rush yards here. A lot of other sites have his line set all the way up at 20.5. We're getting his line at 12.5 on Prizepicks. I like this over quite a bit. I think Stockton probably is going to have pressure on him. He's going to be forced to run, forced to scramble, and he is a mobile quarterback. He will run. They'll even maybe call some design runs for him, some quarterback powers and stuff like that. So I do like Stockton for more than 12.5 rush yards. This is a really good plus EV play if you're into plus EV plays, because you look around the market, a lot of other sites, sports books, have this line way higher than what Prizepicks does. So I do like that as our third and final prop for this college football slate of games on New Year's Day. The 3 playoff games, we're going to take a prop in the Texas-Arizona State game. We're going to take Cam Scottaboo for less than 21.5 longest rush. And then we have 2 props in the Georgia-Notre Dame game. Riley Leonard, more than 17.5 fantasy score. Gunnar Stockton, more than 12.5 rush yards. So if you guys are going to be tailing me on these 3 plays, let's try and go 3-0 here. Let's see if we can hit all 3 of these plays for Wednesday. I'm super excited for these games, guys. On Wednesday, it's going to be a lot of fun watching these playoff games. And hopefully we can make some money along the way. But as always, guys, appreciate you watching these Prizepicks videos and supporting the content. Hit that like button down below if you did enjoy. Hit that subscribe button as well. And if you guys are new to the channel, if you are new to Prizepicks, be sure to sign up for Prizepicks. Use promo code NOAH when you do. When you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code and place your first lineup, you'll get $50 in promo funds instantly added to your account. So make sure to check out Prizepicks if you have not yet. But good luck as always, guys. We'll see you in the next video.